So, good morning. Got the Ozempic yesterday. A couple of things. The price without insurance, incredibly, it's just so, it and a lot of these other semi-glutide, G something, GL somethings, dash ones, they're all like kind of the same formula, so I think they all cost around the same. Without insurance, it was $1,100 a month. Not for, because I saw that CVS sent me the price. With our insurance, it was like $340. And I kept seeing online, you know, you can get it for $99. You can get it for $99. And I'm like, well, maybe that's a 3-month dose. It's not, it's 1 month. So $340 some odd dollars with insurance to get Ozempic. At least Ozempic. There's no generic. They still hold the patent. So it's still an exuberant amount of money. And what's really unfortunate about this is that it's probably not going to change anytime soon. Folks that are taking it for weight loss can pay the $1,100 a month for this as a weight loss. And then the people that can use it to help with their blood sugars get left behind, and even with insurance have to pay $300, $340 a month in order to get this. So we're kind of looking at other options. I do have this for a month though. It's a lot more intimidating looking than it really is. It's very interesting. I already did it this morning. There is a needle. I put it in my thigh. There was no pain whatsoever. Didn't feel a thing. It is kept in the fridge. But here are the instructions that I followed this morning. There are needles, and here they are. So they're in these little cap thingies. They have an outer shell and then an inner shell that protects the needle. So there are 2 needles. And then the back of this, there's a needle because it goes in to what looks like a silicone gasket in the top of the Ozempic tube. So, but yeah, I used one this morning. There was no pain. The needles are very sharp and very small. They're about that big. Yeah, they're about that big. This is enlarged just so you could see the little droplet. I had to cross my eyes to see the little droplet after doing the pen flow thingy. But pen cap, needles, paper tab for the back of the needle, pen window that shows you the medication. The Ozempic is supposed to be clear. It's not supposed to be discolored. Dose counters. This thing is really kind of funky. You go from 0 and then you kind of click it once and then you get a flow symbol, and it's just for the first time you use the pen. I think there's like a couple of doses in it. So once you do step 2 and once, you can just move on to step 3. And my dose is 2.5. And it's funny because it just follows this little dash. You twist it a couple times to get to this dosage number, and then it just follows the dosage number and pushes the little plunger, and then you hold it in your leg for about, they say count slowly to 6. I think it's like 8 3/4 seconds. So instead of writing just count for 8 3/4 or count for 9, they say count slowly to 6. And your slowies may vary, which is really weird. So yeah, I mean, this is the instructions. And you know, it's good because the doctor just gave me my CNP just gave me the prescription. There's a thingy here that says, insert the needle into your skin as your healthcare provider has shown you. Kind of skip that part. Luckily though, I mean, they tell you the areas where you can put it, and you know, I put it into the thigh on this side. Next week on Wednesday, I'll put it on my other thigh. Or because it didn't hurt at all going into my thigh, I may try my stomach. I don't know. I don't know yet. It took me 3 sharp breaths, and I forced myself to put, I've never injected myself with anything, so putting a needle into me, doing it myself seems awful. So, and it wasn't bad at all. I psyched myself up, and it wasn't bad at all. I sat in the chair over there, put it in my leg, counted to 6 slowly, And then there's a little thing here that says if you pull the needle out and there's a stream of Ozempic coming out, you pull the needle out too quickly. Luckily, I actually counted to 8.5. So rather than a slow 6 count. So I pulled the needle out and there was nothing coming out of the needle. The most daunting part was pulling the damn needle, screwing the damn needle from the top of the cap because you throw it away each time. So that was the most daunting thing, it seemed like at the time. So I started my Ozempic injection. We will see what happens. Hopefully everything starts to figure itself out. I don't know if I'm supposed to feel anything or not. I guess I might. I don't know. I don't know how it works. So hopefully when we go and test blood sugars in 3 months, we will see an improvement. Because this stuff's supposed to, it could potentially take you down, you know, a good piece. So it's, it'll be interesting to see what happens. All right. Ooh, I need my little spritzer, don't I? Nope. Don't grab the olive oil one. That'll taste weird. So, Island Roasters Peruvian today. It's supposed to, it's funny because they kind of went over what it does for you. One of the things it does is it holds food in your stomach for like hours, you know, 4 to 6 hours, which makes you feel fuller longer, which means you're not reaching for food, which is a big part of the weight loss. It's almost like you're intermittent fasting. Which, boy, it'd be great if there was some kind of drug that just did that, you know? Maybe that would just help if it could, you know, if you just feel full all the time. I think Dexatrim was supposed to do that back in the day. You're supposed to take a Dexatrim pill, and it was supposed to make you feel full for most of the day after you've eaten once. And, you know, it was a good way to do that intermittent fasting thing. I don't know, honestly. I think that's what it was supposed to do. I don't know if it did it or not. I just remember it was a little half of it was clear, half of it was opaque, and then the clear side had little weird, what looked like miniature gumballs in it, I think. So, because they would split, I think they would split the pill open in the commercial, and then all the little tiny gumballs would drop out onto the countertop. So I'll have to look up that commercial, see if I can find it. But yeah, Dexatrim. Said it was supposed to do that. I don't know if it really did or not. 32 grams, that seems good. It smells like coffee and it's great. So, yeah, I mean, the worrying part wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be, and that's generally how it goes anyway, isn't it? You think the worst and then it's not so bad. It's always better that way, I guess. All right, so Peruvian from Island Roasters going in. Nice medium roast. Cocoa and almond notes. Very creamy, it says. I mean, we know it is. I've already drank it several dozen times. I didn't miss, so that didn't seem to matter because it actually seems to have ground really well. So that's great. One of the, I lost my train of thought there for a second. One of the, what's the word? It's where you could have one of the reactions you could have, side effects. That's the word, side effects. One of the side effects to Ozempic is if you have a family history of thyroid cancer, it has a potential, it could potentially, or has a better chance of giving you some kind of thyroid problem. Also, a general potential reaction is, you know, it could hurt your thyroid and actually give you some kind of a thyroid cancer. I don't know what the odds or statistics are on that, but I won't fill it up too much. Yeah, that's all right. I'll get a different cup. I mean, I was going to use this one. I'll use the Stitch one down there. It should be clean. I always clean out my cups. Actually, maybe since the timer's going, maybe we'll just clean this out again. So yeah, so that one of the side effects is thyroid issues. So, but I don't know how many people that has happened to. I mean, could have happened to 20 people in their study of 500, but that's enough of a sample to make it a warning, which makes sense. But yeah, that's a potential side effect. I'm sure that there are others, but that's the big one they kind of flash, could give you thyroid cancer, which nobody wants that, but, the odds are in your favor, I suppose, if that's how it works. Is that how it works with that kind of a thing? So it's interesting because with the Scotcheroo yesterday, I don't think I had as many floating coffee grounds as I do with the Island Roasters. Maybe that has to do with the treatment of the beans. It's very interesting. A lot of that stuff is floating at the top. I wonder if I should give it a stir. Why not? So yesterday, I think after the test results came in, I'm like, oh God, because I mean, the majority of them were good, but the A1C was not good. It was bad. It's what prompted this whole Ozempic thing, so it wasn't good. So I'm like, well, I can't have, I have 2 pepperoni rolls left in the fridge, and I'm like, I feel like I don't want to eat them because that's bad. So I put broccoli in the steamer, and I steamed a bunch of broccoli and ate it. And regretted it at night because, whoa, I won't get into that. But so I steamed some broccoli and then had an apple. Yeah, so it's I think things are probably going to have to change up just a little bit. Coffee won't change. Coffee will stay the same unless somebody comes at me who's a doctor who's like, you need to stop drinking coffee if you want this to stop. But I don't think coffee, especially if it's just 1 cup a day, has anything to do with A1C movement. It's mostly eating carbs. It's all sugars and carbs, and no exercise, which I am very guilty of. I'm very guilty of not having any exercise. Every time I'm sitting at my computer editing something, I see him get up and do the weights and then come out to the couch and then do his squat things with the weights on his arms. And he does this one-legged thing that looks painful, that he does very easily. So it's like, I'm like, well, I should probably do that. But also, I'm doing this. So, and then I'll be editing until midnight, and I'm tired, time to go to bed. Oh, well, we'll do it tomorrow. And then it just repeats the next day. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. A lot of the stuff that they show online, it's not a miracle thing that happens overnight. It's something that happens. The weight loss stuff is something that happens over 6 months to a year. And it's not hundreds of pounds. It's I lost 25 pounds. And maybe it's that last hurdle, And if you're a larger person, it seems like you lose more weight, which makes sense. There's a lot more weight to lose. You're eating a lot less because of one of the things that it does is holds food in your stomach. So you're eating less. So of course the pounds are going to drop away, but there's just a certain plateau that you hit where it's you need to do some exercise in order to get yourself even further. And I know a lot of people that, I don't know a lot of people, but I've heard that a lot of people that went on Ozempic for weight loss got off of Ozempic and then had it come back. I'm not saying that they came back twice as much, but I'm saying that it did gradually come back without the exercise. It's what are you doing? You definitely need to temper. If this is for weight loss, you definitely need to temper it with exercise. But of course, if it's for high blood sugar, you should also be tempering that with exercise, he said frustratingly. All right, so 5 minutes. That's a good steep. I love the Clever. This Clever is so great. Such a great little device. It's amazing how many simple but fully functional ways we have to make coffee. Good coffee, I mean, drip coffee can be good coffee. It depends on what you're putting through the drip coffee maker. Pods, not so much. I know the Nespresso stuff can do crema and stuff like that for espresso, but I mean, it's still in a pod. Keurig definitely killed my pod fascination. So definitely, it's funny. Definitely a bigger cup here than I could have gone the full 500 for this cup. Whereas with that other cup, even though, doesn't it look bigger? Doesn't that look bigger? Isn't that something? I mean, technically not. I mean, it's a little, this is taller, but, you know, I guess that amount of coffee in here, I guess it feels about the same. Yeah, okay. It just looks bigger when they're not together, so. Oh, good stuff. Nice amaretto kind of smell to it, and then a good cocoa flavor with the coffee. Very smooth. Creamy is the word I would use for this Island Roasters coffee. So, started my Ozempic journey today. We'll see what happens. Hopefully it will lower my blood sugar. Weight loss is not even fourth on the list, you know, for what I hope happens here. I mean, weight loss is great, but I've been a very happy 245 pounds for like almost a year now. It's, I feel very comfortable. I'm not in nearly as much pain as I used to be when I was like 260, 280. So, you know, we'll see what happens. But I'll let you know if anything changes, if anything happens or feels different or something like that. You will be the second people to know, because I hopefully will be the first. So thank you so much for watching today. I really appreciate it. Go get checked out by your doctor if you can. I recognize that I am incredibly privileged and fortunate to have an insurance policy through my husband's work that will allow me to get this kind of medication. I wish it was more available for other people. It is frustrating and aggravating that it's $1,100 per month if you are not on any kind of insurance and you need something that would help you with your blood sugar. And this just works so effectively to do that it just seems like putting it behind such a high paywall is almost cruel. So, and you know, if they can knock insurance down to $340, I mean, obviously they're making such an incredibly huge profit, over $1,100 per dose per month per person who doesn't have insurance, you know. It's aggravating, but I'm very fortunate. So, and I recognize that, and you know, I will continue to try this, and until they tell me to stop taking the metformin, I'll keep taking the metformin. Hopefully the combination of the two will get me to a place where my blood sugar gets lower and my A1C gets a lot lower. We'll come back tomorrow, have some coffee, and there's one thing I forgot to talk about in Minnesota. I'll bring it up, and I've got pictures of it, so that'll be fun. We'll talk to you later. Have a good day. Bye.